just a hack. He's just an absolute hack. And he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
Welcome back to another episode of the Believe in FCS Football podcast. I'm Joe DeLeone here with my former teammate, former roommate, Mr. Sean Anderson. Sean, how are we doing today?
I'm doing fine. I didn't expect how you doing. oh no, you were late. Which it happens. You know, normally I'll stroll into the dock 2 minutes after the suggested time. So I get it.
15.
Nah, I'm never 15, Joseph. You know that. But I don't expect hey, I'm gonna need another 10 minutes, and then another 3 minutes passes, and then now Joe's putting up a doc link, and then I'm like, okay, cool, or a StreamYard link. Pardon me.
Yeah, the notes were all done, so don't act like we weren't prepared to tape now.
It gave me more time to watch film,
which is
today,
a first.
Which is not a first, and you've been saying I take such and such amount of time to watch film. I'm going to get to my offensive line eval. I had one guy send in one to do, but he also sent in, Joe, I don't know if you saw this, a very odd response when I said will do. Did you see this?
No. Was this in a thread or was this a DM? Is this a player?
Just a tweet. This is what I got tweeted at me from Zach and Derek Live Tweet Sports, and it's at Zach and Derek. At Sanderson Radio, you better break down Gus Miller from South Dakota State's film, or else. I said, okay.
Little aggressive.
I said, can and will do. And then they respond, are you distant relatives with Jon Favreau?
What?
They responded to me saying, can and will do, break down the film from Gus Miller, which I will do. I will hold my word on that. They asked if I was distant relatives with Jon Favreau.
You don't look anything like Jon Favreau.
I said, not to my knowledge.
What kind of a weird bit this is? What is the... We got
Joseph,
some weird listeners.
Give me some clarification here.
I don't know, man.
I need you to speculate, because I haven't been able to stop thinking about this. I'm thinking, do I look like Jon Favreau? Not a bad dude to look like. Movie star, successful. He's doing his thing, right? So it's not necessarily an insult, I would say. But is it a compliment? Is it an observation? Is it a dig?
I wouldn't consider it to be a dig, because he is and will forever be more successful than you are. Also probably going to be more better looking than you, so I don't think it's a dig. It's very odd.
I hadn't seen Jon Favreau in a while now. I don't look like Jon Favreau
at all. There's no.
He's got curly hair. He wears glasses. Joe, you look like Jon Favreau more than I do.
He's way too big for me to be any resemblance.
Nah, the glasses, the eyes. Oh, I'm starting to see it now.
Have you seen The Replacements?
The Replacements, I have seen it. Not in a while though.
He's in The Replacements. He plays the linebacker.
He was the
crazy linebacker.
Okay. Now I'm seeing it.
This is riveting conversation.
That's okay. That's dude. I'm sorry if I took the show off the rails early. I know.
No. You didn't. These dips did. I don't know what that might be one of the worst interactions that I think we've ever had with this show. Can the football season start already?
It felt weird. It felt like not on this earth. Like it felt like that tweet came from a different dimension where I might have curly hair or I might wear glasses. Like that's what it felt like to me. It didn't feel like on our planet that's where that tweet came through.
Yeah, I think they were giving you too much credit. But we're going to be giving plenty of credit today to the defensive linemen, the FCS defensive linemen that we're going to be talking about on today's show. I don't know what it is. When I'm on the East Coast, these shows do not do as well. Maybe it's because I have more energy. Are you on the
East Coast right now?
No.
Oh.
I am.
Oh, hey, thanks for stopping by.
I didn't have time.
Are you still on the East Coast?
I'm leaving to go further north tomorrow.
Hey, thanks for stopping by.
When was I going to stop? I wanted to fly into DC to see you, but you had to work.
Yeah.
So
I
when was
didn't know you
supposed
were
to
on the
stop
East
playing?
Coast. You didn't say I'm flying out. You didn't say I'm doing this or that. You've just been
Well, see you in
sitting.
the fall.
You've been sitting. Oh, also you stink on Twitter. I can't deny that you haven't had a good run as of late. I got to give you that credit. But as soon as you
I
get
always
back
have a
in
good run.
Jersey, you're talking about the bacon, egg, and cheese. Or
Taylor
you
ham
did
and egg
not
cheese
delete
is-
it. Did you delete it?
Yeah, because I look like a
a-
dipshit. That's
a
the second
bag
time
way.
I've had 2 tweets in the past like 4 days. I've had typos. I'm
Well, maybe you learn how to
struggling.
spell bagel. How about that? It's pretty simple.
I fat fingered it. Don't act like you haven't fat fingered a tweet
No,
before.
I know how to
That's
spell. I know how to spell. Spell bagel right now.
Eat shit.
Spell it.
BAGEL.
Spell manager.
MANGER.
That's manger.
MAN.
Wait. Were you not doing a bit right there?
MANAGER.
That's manager. You just spelled manger.
Wouldn't it be manger? Oh, do the read. Do the read. Do the read.
You can't spell.
It's see the 4 o'clock taping on the East Coast is not to my benefit. It is to my only to my
so
detriment.
are you a little tired?
Yeah, I'm a little tired.
Okay. I'll do the read. One more. Suspended.
What do you mean suspended?
Spell suspended.
SUS sus PENDED.
Okay, good. Took way too long. That's a very easy word. But okay, Joe is 1 for 3. All right. Speaking about 1 for 3, let's talk about my betting. Hey-oh, just kidding. I was 0 for this past weekend during the fights. Israel Adesanya is just too good. He doesn't need to have a crazy risky maneuver to knock out an opponent. He can just technically break them down the entire fight and win. And I'm a bettor that bets on what he wants to happen, not what will happen, which is I knew Israel Adesanya wasn't going to win by KO or TKO. I knew it, but I didn't do it because I wanted to enjoy the sport way more. And I did that at Bet Online, and they continue to be the number one source for all of your betting needs and sports information. If you are somebody who likes to bet and win money, you can do that. If you're someone that likes to bet to make the games a little more exciting in case it does happen, you're double happy, that's fine. Find all the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's Wimbledon Finals, Major League Baseball, the latest fighting news, and even next season's early NFL futures. Head to the website, use your mobile device today to sign up and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BLEAV, BLEAV, to get the bonus and get into the action. Bet Online, where the game starts.
Sean, you remember how I told you I made that egregious Dodgers-Angels error?
Yeah, I do.
So I told myself I wasn't going to bet until the college football season.
Sure.
But guess what?
Because you know a lot about college football, right?
I do. I'm back in, and I'm on another heater, which was derailed yesterday by me placing 2 bets that were way too big on the Yankees and Mets that went. The Mets lose 1-0 to the Reds, and the Yankees lose 5-1 to the Pirates. Like, what are the?
This is baseball, man. It's baseball. You got to bet value in baseball. What was I going to say?
I was still like on like a 7-pick streak. I was like 7-1 in my last 8.
Here's a bet that I'm going to lock down. Notre Dame won't be in a conference and won't win a national championship throughout the 2020s. That is a bet I'm going to lock in on now.
No.
What do you mean?
Put your money on that.
They are going to take that future every day.
They're joining the Big
2020s.
Ten. They're going to join the Big Ten.
They're not going to. Doesn't matter. They're still not going to win a national championship in the next.
The
8
recruiting
years.
that they have the number 1 recruiting class in 2023 and 2024. So we're not doing this bit right now. You can suck it.
Whoa! Why? I was just trying to tell a friend about a bet that I want to make. Why are you being so hostile?
You know why I'm being hostile.
I'm not familiar.
All right, so
it
Sean,
irritated me because it was like Joe Day when the Big Ten stuff happened. It was like Joe was living it up.
Did you see the YouTube videos I posted? Oh no, you don't check the Hacks YouTube channel.
What they were doing pretty good numbers. I saw, but you're such a
really good numbers. They both did over 1,000 on views, so they pretty good numbers.
Saw that. Hey, jackass! Just because you don't like USC doesn't mean that it can be Joe's celebration day. I'm just saying right now, it was Joe's big day to take a big old dump on USC.
You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting to get a text from Sean that says, "Hey, I just recorded a reaction video. Can you post it for me?" We can't record on these.
That's an awful.
We can't record on these.
That's an awful deflection.
I
Also,
know.
You-
We can't record on these coasts.
you've
This is
lost
just-
your edge.
I haven't lost my edge.
Yeah, you have.
How have I lost my edge?
I don't know.
I know. I'm just
trying to
being
move
mean. I'm
on.
not even being funny. It's
yeah.
it's just like, oh, you're way busier than I am, and I'm being mean. All right, I don't want to talk about some guys that are mean on the football field, though. These defensive linemen that we're talking about today, we've got 4 players in our elite tier, and then we've got a nice handful of guys that are in our great tier. The FCS draft prospects for the defensive line are not as good as some of these offensive players and some of these other position groups. So some warning now. But there are some dudes in this group. And the elite tier, I want to start us off with running through the names to be aware of. Eyabi Anoma from UT Martin, BJ Thompson from Stephen F. Austin, Isaiah Land from Florida A&M, and Josiah Silver from UNH. Would like to preface by saying that Silver is an underclassman, so he has a long career potentially ahead of him. But the rest of these guys are likely going to be a part of the upcoming draft class. It is worth noting that Land is listed as a linebacker, so we just kind of included anybody that is an edge rusher, outside linebacker, defensive end, defensive tackle in today's discussion. But Sean, I got to highlight first the guy who I think stands above everybody else in terms of his quality as a prospect, not as an FCS player, specifically as a prospect, is Anoma from UT Martin. He got a 5.2 or a very high grade. 5.2 means nothing to our listeners. He got a very high grade coming into this year's class for the 2023. I saw a PFF analyst who we don't really trust, but I saw his name pop up on a rankings list for edge rushers today in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Former Alabama player, former 5-star recruit, and former 4th ranked player nationally. 9.5 tackles for loss, 6 sacks this past season. This dude's big. This dude is twitchy, and he's got that caliber of being a 5-star recruit.
Yeah, he's got the build. He's got the makeup. Doing some research on him, it's a lot of how this Alabama player threw away his career, what happened with the former 5-star recruit, this, that. Basically just taking a huge, just knocking the guy down because it didn't work out at Alabama. It doesn't work out at a lot of places for a lot of players. So I didn't really love seeing that. I didn't see that for BJ Thompson, who I believe transferred from Baylor to Stephen F. Austin. So I'm like, okay, Alabama's different. Their fans are always going to be a little more sad and butthurt that somebody might not have panned out in that specific system. But he's got the build. He's got the makeup. They obviously wanted him for a reason. And if you're high on him, you're high on him. I'll keep on looking around, doing some research, trying to get higher on him. I'm not super up on him yet. I think I would have Land a little bit higher up, at least in my personal power rankings. Maybe I just haven't watched enough of UT Martin.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that defense flies around pretty good. I mean, I was watching their what was it? Their playoff. They were playing.
Oh my God, I'm blanking on who they played.
Sanford. I was watching the UT Martin Sanford game.
Wait,
that defense.
Sanford didn't make the playoff,
or it might have been like
State.
No. I don't. No, I watched a playoff game for a different guy. Just a UT Martin versus Sanford game.
Okay.
They forced like 4 turnovers in like 3 quarters or something like that. So they fly around. Really, you're just hoping that he can tap into that build and that frame and all the athleticism. That's all you can really hope for. And then if he does, then he can really stand out.
You know what this kind of reminds me of is Noah Spence, who was a really highly recruited kid. Obviously not situationally. Noah Spence was at Ohio State. He was really good state because he's got some, I think it was like either drug suspension or something like that. That's not the case here for Anoma, but he leaves, goes to EKU, dominates at EKU, and then is highly drafted because of that recognition of still having those traits and being a former high recruit. That's kind of what happens a lot with a lot of these guys, is that they're a big recruit. Maybe they don't actualize it in terms of statistics, but the NFL is still high on these players that show the flashes of it, even if they haven't really hit that 5-star caliber. He'll probably be a day 3 pick. I think that's pretty likely for a guy like Anoma.
Yeah, and these recruiters for the major, massive Power 5 schools, they don't really get it wrong with the physical stuff. They don't really get it wrong with how good of an athlete the player is. If they get it wrong, it's more about fit, it's more about scheme, character, whatever else it may be that could cause dissatisfaction between the two parties. But when you're looking at athletic traits, especially on a high school field, if you're watching some of the guys that really panned out, you're like, oh, I see it. That's why he succeeded. So there's some not missed things and there's some missed things. And then the FCS is the place where you kind of turn the one man's trash into another man's treasure, is the best way I can put it. I don't even know if that's a really nice way to put it, but that's what it is.
So you just called Anoma trash.
No. You know what I'm saying.
I know. I'm just giving you crap. BJ Thompson, though, Stephen F. Austin, 6'5", 223. Thank you, Stephen F. Austin, for having an accessible and usable
that's nice.
website for statistics.
Are you being facetious or
very facetious?
Oh.
It literally didn't load. I sat there for 10 minutes.
You had me, actually. You got me.
I sat there for 10 minutes and I'm like, is this gonna load?
Oh, I thought you were being real for a second.
It was one of those things where I opened
I know better.
I opened the tab, I left the tab to go respond to some emails and some Slack messages. And it was like literally, I'm not even joking, 10, 15 minutes later, I swiped back and it was still loading. So
bandwidth goes down for the summer months, I guess. They're trying to save some money at that school.
I guess.
That has to be what it is.
Fun fact on BJ Thompson. He is from England, Arkansas. That is the only information I have on him.
You're that's 3 hacks. That one I had to keep. I couldn't just put under my breath. That is a hack.
I think 6'5", 223 though.
You just like silly things.
You get.
Why don't you start with, I like his frame and his length and his get off? Why is it?
He's got a good length. He's got the good get off.
With the goofiest thing. Why do you start with the goofiest thing? God, let's do a show.
He's another late draft, but shut the hell up.
You stink.
Oh God. The sad part is we've got way more listeners this summer than we did last summer. So we should be putting in a little bit more effort, but
I put in effort. I watched this dude. I like what I saw. Golly.
I'm sorry. 223 needs a little light in the ass. One of my favorite terms to use. It's coming from Stephen F. Austin, one of the big, key returning contributors for that team.
Yeah.
I like what he brings to the table physically, though. Like that's a lot of length, and you mentioned the good get off, but just a little more weight.
Yeah, I was watching this is the playoff game I was watching. I was watching the Stephen F. Austin versus the Incarnate Word.
Oh man, that wasn't
game.
it like 60 something. It was like a stupidly high scoring game.
I got to I think about halftime. When watching God, where am I at? When watching Thompson, they didn't run his way. They did not put plays his way. They didn't want to, because why would you? He is just, I'm going to use this term a couple times. He's reachy. I'm going to use that when I say Josiah Silver also. Not reachy like bad reachy with offensive linemen where they're reaching and they're bending over their waist and not their knees. Like he's just going to get his hands on you. And if you're trying to get the corner on him, he's going to reach out and get you. And he's got a good get off, not a great get off. I didn't see many 3rd and long situations, but he is a guy that you have to account for the way that he can go sideline to sideline also. And there was no it's not like Incarnate Word had a bad team. They had a good team last year, and they had a quarterback in Cameron Ward who could be mobile and throw the ball and make plays happen out of the pocket. And there was one play I was very impressed with where Cameron Ward seemingly had a first down if he scrambled to the right. It looked like he had a first down if he scrambled to the right. He's in the pocket, starts to roll out. I'm saying, okay, he's just going to get the first down. That's what this play is. And then Thompson, who was kind of crashing in, trying to get in, on a blocker, on their tackle, starts running to the sideline at the angle, stops it for like a 2-yard play. And I'm like, wow, there's not a lot of defensive ends, especially at this level, who have that closing speed and have the presence to know that I'm not going to get him in the backfield. He is fast, but because if I chase him at the wrong angle, he's going to get the first down. I'm going to give him 2 yards, and they're going to have to kick a field goal or do whatever after that. So they were that was very impressive. And then they keyed off of him a couple times because they knew it was Ward ran one in, a touchdown in, and he only ran one in because he could see his left tackle was going to get beat if he stayed in the backfield. So he said, okay, here's the crease. Left tackle opened up his hips, just going to run up at the circle. I'll run it for the touchdown. Linebacker needs to be there to get that done. But they're reading and keying off on him because that's what you need to do with a dangerous player. So that's what you get with B.J. Thompson. You get offenses game planning him for sure, and a good get off and freaky athleticism.
I've said this a lot on the NFL Draft Prospect Show. I have actively been trying to not use stupid scouting jargon. And
Sure.
I try to use the dumbest words possible because I think that like all these wannabe shows and even some of the popular draft, like in football analysis shows, lean on them too much. To me, like I think you can spot the people that don't know what they're talking about when they lean on the jargon too much.
Yeah.
And I love that you use the word reachy because like you never hear the word reachy on these shows. And I think it fits perfectly with the words that I try to use. Like that should be the new description for a guy that just has long ass arms and he's got insane forearm and grip strength that he could have a tackle or a guard blocking down on him. And he just shoves his arm out and is able to either slow down or yank down an opposing quarterback or a running back. That explanation for Thompson, I love. And I love it even more for Josiah Silver, who we had on the show, friend of the show, one of our best interviews, I would argue. 20 and a half tackles for loss and 12 sacks. That reachiness shows two things to me: length and awareness and assertiveness. That sense of like, oh, I see the ball. I'm not going to, just try to get in the way. I'm grabbing this dude and I'm trying to get recognition and make a play on this football.
Yeah, he's got some heavy bones too. I wrote down in the notes here, really reachy. Hands keep stretching out.
Good one.
I
love that.
When he makes contact with a quarterback, he's not just grabbing him, throwing him down. He's 3-point contact into the quarterback's chest legally, which we could talk about what quarterbacks protecting them all we want. It's the game of football. I still don't agree with a lot of the ways that the quarterbacks are tackled because they're playing football also, regardless. I'm always happy when a kicker gets decleated just because you're playing football. Remember that. Always remember that you're on the field, or a long snapper, punter, whatever. So it's great. Welcome to the game. Now he's going to punish a quarterback if he gets there. And then not only is he going to do that, he's going to swipe for the ball. And it's almost like his hands have minds for themselves. Cause I'm watching him. I'm like, okay, sack. And then when did the ball get loose? I'm watching your whole body. I'm watching you sack him. I'm watching you take him to the ground. When did your hands move to get the ball loose? Did you do it with your forearms? Did you do it with your bicep? What did you do? And I'm like, oh no, his hands are almost acting independently once he has the quarterback in his grasp. Like that is weird to see. There was Chandler Jones almost acts, all of his body acts independently with each other. I see that a lot when I'm watching him, where it's like, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody do. I'm not comparing Josiah Silver to Chandler Jones, who's one of the best pass rushers maybe of all time, as is projecting right now. But the weird trait where you see guys have that full control, where they know what they're doing at every part of their play, it's impressive, and it definitely stands out for me.
Yeah, no, I love the description that you gave there for both those guys. And the last guy that I want to hit on in this elite tier before we round things out with our great tier guys, Isaiah Land, I think statistically deserves immeasurable recognition for how freaking good he was for Florida A&M last year. Will Anderson had a historic season this past year with Alabama and in a national championship trajectory.
Sure.
And Isaiah Land had a season that was not far off. He was the Buck Buchanan Award winner. He finished last season with 25 tackles for loss and 19 sacks. He was the most dominant and disruptive player in college football. And part of me wondered how Troy Anderson didn't win this award. but when you watch Isaiah Land play, it makes a lot of sense.
I'm excited to talk about Isaiah Land. I'm glad he's on the list. I just want to know what measurable recognition would be.
Shut up. Just
I
shut
just
up.
wanted to
Just shut
know
up.
immeasurable recognition. I like it. I just want to know what the
your name announced at an
measurable.
award ceremony. Is that not measurable recognition? Just shut up.
I was just genuinely wondering, Joe. I don't know
I
why
hope
you're
you're late
giving me
for
the
work.
third degree. Whoa! I don't know why you're grilling me like that. I just had a question, you jerk. Here's the thing: Isaiah Land is a guy where offenses can't afford to be indecisive on the field.
Yes.
Whereas if a play breaks down, you have a second before he's on you and tackling you or sacking you or forcing a fumble. You know, you cannot afford to have the play break down in any facet, or else he's going to get you. Like that's what he does. That's what he regular play, fine, he's going to make his plays. But when the machine breaks down, Joe, he's there. He's getting a sack. He's tracking down a running back. That's what he's doing. I'm like, okay,
Motor.
It's high motor, high velocity. He's coming at you. And it's almost like a quarterback freestyling. You're like, okay, quarterback Russell Wilson, go ahead, scramble, throw it down the field 20 yards, catch. Fine. I'm like, okay. I'm watching the opposite of it. I'm watching a defensive Russell Wilson say, yeah, go ahead, break down. I'm coming. It's like he personally is controlling the game when the offense has a miscue or there's a pressure. Like that's just I don't see that. I don't see a defensive player almost control the entire narrative on the field, and that's what I see with Isaiah Land.
Yeah, that was the big thing for me with Will Anderson when I did his evaluation was the motor, was that ability to just be always on and relentlessly chasing down plays. To have 25 tackles for loss, it requires that level of a motor. It requires that level of relentlessness. And I think Isaiah Land deservedly is the Will Anderson of FCS football. What is this? What are you giggling about?
You got to stop using rule. Relentless. You got to stop. I'm not
relentless. Is that better? God damn.
I heard it 3 times. I kept it in. Relentless. It's relentless. You do need to get back on the West Coast. I haven't.
Yeah, I'm not feeling very functioning. Well, because I record in the middle of the day on the West Coast, and like I mean, everyone remembers when I was on the East Coast, we record at like 5, 6 o'clock, and I had no energy.
7 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
This office I'm in has no air conditioning, so I'm just sweating my nuts off.
You're red. You know how I can tell you're hot? Because your hair is coming down. Normally, it's able to stay up in your air-conditioned apartment out west, but now it's just kind to on the front of your face.
I'm just moist.
I
have to change. Like the clothes I've been wearing all day are just damp. They're just
oh my god,
disgusting. In a wooded room like this too is just not.
Oh, where are you?
I'm in like my what used to be my office when I was in New Jersey. And it's like the sunroom.
Is it like 70s
like
panel wood or is it like new wood?
No, this room is very old. This house is really old because
it looks like my
it's
grandma's
not our house. We're flipping it. It's like we bought it for a very short term. Wish I understood how any of that
That's an awful studio. You're in a house
terrible.
You don't know, in the hottest room in an old house with no AC. Why did you agree to record today?
Because I don't want our fans to miss out, and I also want to share our
that's
great
the dedication.
Yes, the dedication. I want to quickly roll through our great tier guys, and then just
Sure.
maybe any quick notes on these guys. Devonshire Maxwell from Chattanooga. Nate Lynn from William and Mary, Clay Patterson from Yale, VJ Malo from Portland State, David Hogue from Northern Colorado, and then Will Buck from the University of San Diego. I got just a quick note. David Hogue, 23 tackles for loss, 10.5 sacks, and then VJ Malo, 20 tackles for loss and 10.5 sacks. Those dudes are not big, but they fit the perfect mold of just being so freaking like the small, speedy, mean
I know
defensive
exactly.
tackles.
Yeah.
They're just making so many plays.
I had one note on Devonshire Maxwell. don't let him cross your face, because if he does, he's going to be in the quarterback's lap in maybe less than half a second. It doesn't make sense how quickly he gets back there. He shouldn't get back there that quickly. But if he beats you on the interior, he will have a sack. And I think he had 5 sacks in the game last year against ETSU. And then Chattanooga, really good breakdown where it was him and a defensive coach where they were just reviewing the film. So if you kind of want to see what I'm talking about, go to that on the Chattanooga football page, and you kind of see like, whoa, he did kind of explode there and get to the quarterback when you wouldn't think that he'd be able to.
Yeah, he followed me back on Twitter like right when we started recording. So
nice.
Yeah, feel very good. All these guys though are fantastic, and just because they're not in our elite tier doesn't mean that we don't think that they're great football players, but they certainly deserve the recognition. The one thing I do want to round us out with, Sean, before we wrap up, Jared Verse from Albany, no longer there, transferred to Florida State, was considered to be a top 5 transfer portal player. Now at Florida State, Jared Verse is really freaking good. And I still consider him to be an FCS player, just like I consider Cam Ward to be an FCS player.
Yep.
Pay attention to Jared Verse, and he's somebody who might be a serious riser in this class.
That's funny that you have that association. Like I still have the association with like Jareth Stearns, but it was at EKU last year. Like, oh yeah, FCS guy. I'm like, oh no, he's
Bailey
not.
Zappi. Yeah.
I think I brought up Bailey Zappi during the FCS football quarterback pre-draft show that we did or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, wait, and I had after the show, I'm like, he's not in the FCS anymore. Why'd you bring him up? And I'm like, oh well, he kind of was, and it
kind of was.
It is what it is.
But by the way, I do have to say this. For the love of God, it is not intentional for us to mess up bringing certain guys up that transferred. Yes. Some of these schools do not update their rosters, and it'll say 2022 roster, and the guy will be on there. And then on top of it, their freaking Twitters are like, Big Grinder 45 or something like that. That ended up being really dirty. I don't know why that ended up.
What? Who are you following? Big Grinder 45?
I gotta take that out.
Why would you can't take that out? Why would you say like Lion's Heart 20?
I was gonna say On the Grind, but that was AP.
Or the Forgotten King 1998, whatever. Dude. You gotta leave that in. Oh, what is it? What?
You know the worst part about all this? Is that
my God.
When I mentally thought of this and I made note to bring it up on the show, I was trying to come up with a funny example. And all the ones that I came up with were bad. Like they were like not appropriate to bring up. And I was like, can't say that one, can't say that one, can't say that one. And I tried to come up with one on the spot.
What?
And that's the one I came up with.
Why would you go with like Big Hustler, or anything? Big Nasty. Anything.
Like it sounds like a male stripper. Like does that not sound like a
Lambo Lawrence, Cowboy Chris, anything.
Oh,
are you a boob?
$100 to any active FCS football player. $100.
100 for me.
The official NIL athlete.
Yes,
of the FCS football podcast.
$100 for me. Also,
but so $200 on the table.
Yes.
If you will be the official NIL athlete of the FCS football podcast, and we will call upon you to do something, but you have to change your handle to @BigGrinder45.
Yeah, and it also it can't just be like a burner. You just say, "Oh, I set this that way." It has to be your Twitter account.
I will open negotiations. We will open negotiations. Any current, I might.
It'll be the Believe in FCS football NIL deal, right? It's not GRINDR like the dating app.
No.
Grinder with an-
That's a
Yes.
step too. That's a step too far.
Yes,
That's a
yes.
step too far.
Grinder 45. Big Grinder 45.
I am again. It is on the
You
table.
are
$200.
A doof.
And we're open to negotiation. We're open to negotiation. If you want us to talk to your
Oh,
agent, $4,200.
Sure.
$200.
I'll talk to
is
any
the
agent
starting
about
bid.
this. We need to get it done.
Starting bid. You're the official athlete of the Believe in FCS Football Pod.
You
but
want a
have
sword?
to-
I'll give him a sword. Is that allowed? I don't know. I got to try to sweeten the deal here.
and I think we should have a reoccurring segment with this player
Oh,
where they come on and they talk to us, and it's big grinders grind of the week.
Joseph, what's wrong with you?
I don't know, man. I think this is why people listen to the show. At Joe DeLeone at Sanderson Radio. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, good idea. All right.
All right. Follow us, Hack City. I'm sorry that you had to listen to this.
Drive safe,
Drive safe.
losers.